Once upon a time, in a secluded wooded area wherein the trees stood tall and proud, there lived a man named Thomas. He resided in a simple dwelling amidst the woods, where he spent his days in rambles, exploring the wilderness that surrounded him. For years, he had trekked through the dense forest, discovering hidden secrets and mysteries. One day, a curious young girl named Emily ventured into the woods, intrigued by the tales she had heard about the enigmatic man who lived there. She had heard stories of a man of towering height who resided in a dwelling accentuated by nature's beauty. His long, unshorn hair and majestic appearance were said to be captivating. Emily arrived at Thomas's abode, finding the thatched roof and unglazed window embellished with a hefty iron knocker. She knocked softly, and the door creaked open, revealing a much-used oak chair beside the fireplace. Thomas greeted her warmly and invited her inside. As they sat by the hearth, Thomas recounted the story of his life. He had once been a prestigious athlete, dual-registered in 2 sports. Thomas had the ability to succeed in any challenge he took on, thanks to his indomitable work ethic and willingness to push himself beyond his limits. He worked hard to ensure his aspirations were rewarded, and he was ecstatic about his achievements. But life took an unexpected turn when he suffered a severe brain trauma during one of the intensity of forthcoming matches. The post-concussive blows devastated him, leaving him with poor concentration, memory difficulties, and brain fog. Soul-searching and convalescence followed, and Thomas learned to heal himself through self-taught practices and exploration of the natural landscapes that surrounded him. However, his health issues could not sustain his athletic career, and his savings were dwindling with no significant income. It was a fateful encounter that changed his life forever. Overwhelmed with worry and feeling hopeless, Thomas decided to leave the city behind and live in the woods. His tenancy expired, and with no other options, he made the life-changing decision to seek solace in the woods. Though he had meager savings, Thomas was determined to survive. He set off with his essentials packed in a backpack, entitled to free transport through a disabled person's travel pass. The bus took him to the outskirts of the woods, where he started a new chapter of his life. Thomas's recollections of those initial days were vague, filled with weariness and uncertainty. He conveyed his worries to the man who owned a derelict building nearby, hoping for a chance at rent-free accommodation. The owner, moved by Thomas's story, readily agreed and offered the space for the man to live in. Throughout the years, Thomas turned the rundown building into a cozy shelter. During lambing seasons, he lent a hand to the neighboring farmers, and in return, they supplied him with necessities. Together, they restored the stonework and rethatched the roof, making the place watertight. Fallen branches provided him with firewood, and the baker from a nearby village kindly gifted him baker's bread and cakes. Thomas found contentment in the simplicity of his life, and he realized that peace of mind is the greatest wealth one could attain. With each passing day, he discovered the camaraderie with nature and found solace in the woods. As dusk approached, Thomas and Emily bade their farewells, both elated by the newfound connection. Emily promised to check on his health and well-being from time to time as she set off on her journey back home. On her way, Emily couldn't shake off the feeling of déjà vu. It was as if she had known Thomas before, perhaps in a different time or place. The encounter with the man in the woods had left a lasting impression on her heart, and she couldn't help but reflect on the beauty of simplicity and the power of resilience. And so, the narrative ended as the sun dipped below the horizon. The man in the woods, Thomas, remained in his peaceful abode, content with the life he had chosen. Emily cherished the memories of their meeting, reminding her that sometimes the most profound connections could be found in the unlikeliest of places. From that day on, Emily often ventured into the woods to meet Thomas and listen to his stories. In the company of the man who had embraced the simplicity of life, she learned the true meaning of resilience and the power of nature's healing touch. And as she explored the woods alongside Thomas, she realized that she, too, had encountered a person of towering height, an extraordinary soul who had found a home among the trees. From that day on, Emily often ventured into the woods to meet Thomas and listen to his stories. In the company of the man who had embraced the simplicity of life, she learned the true meaning of resilience and the power of nature's healing touch. And as she explored the woods alongside Thomas, she realized that she, too, had encountered a person of towering height, an extraordinary soul who had found a home among the trees. Emily's visits became more frequent, and she began to help Thomas with his day-to-day tasks. Together, they tended to the vegetable garden that nestled beside the dwelling, and they prepared a simmering stew in a large cauldron over the open fire. The days spent in the woods were surreal for Emily, as she felt a deep sense of belonging and connection with nature. With time, Emily relayed her experiences to her family and friends, recounting the captivating story of the man in the woods. Some were skeptical, while others were inspired by the thrill of resilience and self-discovery. Among those who were moved by the story was a young journalist named Alex, who decided to write an article about Thomas and his remarkable journey. The article gained widespread attention, and soon people from different parts of the country came to visit the man in the woods. They were intrigued by his wisdom, his contentment, and his ability to find joy in simplicity. Some even offered financial assistance, but Thomas politely declined, explaining that he found everything he needed within the woods. As more people visited, Thomas and Emily found themselves surrounded by newfound friendships and a sense of community. The woods became a hub of learning and sharing, with Thomas imparting his knowledge of the wilderness to those eager to learn. Workshops on survival skills, foraging, and living in harmony with nature became regular occurrences. Despite the external changes, Thomas remained steadfast in his pursuit of peace and contentment. He valued the connections he made with others but was always mindful of the need to preserve the tranquility of his dwelling. The additional income from workshops and the occasional gifts from visitors were used to enhance the well-being of the woods rather than his own comfort. As the seasons changed, the bond between Emily and Thomas grew stronger. She found solace in his presence, and he saw in her a reflection of his own resilience and adventurous spirit. They explored the woods together, discovering hidden streams, ancient trees, and rare wildlife. They built a wooden shelter in a clearing, where they could meditate and immerse themselves in the sounds of nature. One day, as they sat by the fire, Emily shared her dream of building a nature sanctuary that would inspire others to cherish and protect the environment. Thomas listened intently, and a spark of joy lit up his eyes. He offered his full support and guidance to bring her dream to life, realizing that it was a testament to the impact he had on her life. With Thomas's help, Emily's vision became a reality. The woods became a sanctuary for those seeking solace, learning, and a deeper connection with the natural world. As the sanctuary grew, it attracted like-minded individuals from all walks of life, each contributing their skills and resources to its development. With the passage of time, the man in the woods, Thomas, became an emblem of hope and inspiration for many. His story of resilience, self-discovery, and contentment echoed far beyond the boundaries of the woods. He became a living testament to the idea that one could find fulfillment in simplicity and harmony with nature. Though the years passed, Thomas's spirit remained strong. He and Emily, now a close-knit family, continued to live in the woods, cherishing every moment together. As dusk approached each day, they would sit by the fire, reminiscing about their journeys, the people they had met, and the wisdom they had gained. And so, the man in the woods, Thomas, lived a life that transcended time and space, much like the TARDIS of tales. His abode was no longer just a dwelling amidst the trees, it was a place of transformation, where weary souls found solace, dreams found wings, and the human spirit found its true essence. As Emily looked back on the journey that had led her to the woods, she realized that her encounter with Thomas had been more than just a chance meeting. It had been a life-changing decision to follow her instincts and embark on an adventure that had altered the course of her life forever. The man in the woods, Thomas, had taught her the value of embracing life's uncertainties and finding contentment in the simple joys of existence. With gratitude in her heart, she knew that her time in the woods had been nothing short of magical, a journey of self-discovery and growth that she would carry with her always. And so, as the sun set on another day in the woods, Thomas and Emily bade their farewells to the world outside, knowing that their home among the trees held all the love, peace, and joy they would ever need.